bear with me now, because this is not going to be a good video. Just click off now, unless you're Dave or James Flashback TNT, who's been on my case to get this video done. But I've got stuff sat here from last year. Now, fair warning, there's not a lot of there's a few games, but it's a bit of a mixture, so I'm just gonna rattle them off as we go. So I've been buying sort of different things, but there are some good games here. There's some pretty tasty games, so I will show them all. I'm going to get some of the tat out the way first. Been buying stuff like bought a couple of puzzles. So I've got the cassette tape over there, the first ever Michael Jackson. Sorry, it's not even the first Michael Jackson. The first bit of music I ever bought, Woolworths '92. This is on tape. I've still got it, as I say, sat over there. And I used to love this artwork. Found a puzzle in a charity shop, and I thought, do you know what? I'll buy that, and I will sit and do it, and I'll probably put it on the wall. And then likewise, one of my favourite films of all time, big childhood film. Still watch it as an adult. Obviously, Michael Keaton Batman. 200 piece. The aim is to sit down and do these puzzles. You know, whether I get to, whether I ever really make the time to sit and do them, who knows. Let's chuck some games in anyway. And I was at Revival this weekend. I've got a Revival video to make. I did buy a few bits. As everyone's saying, like the main thing was meeting people. I've got far more to say about that than anything I sort of picked up and bought home. But a couple of charity shop PS1 finds. So like this one, Dance Stage Euromix. This was 50p, and I picked this up because the case is just immaculate. There was no way I was leaving that behind. Similarly, I found in a charity shop copy of Rayman, cracked disc, and it's the platinum one, and likewise Tomb Raider 2. Cracked discs, sorry, not cracked disc, cracked case, but likewise cheap as chips, and bought them home. I think I've already got Rayman. Yeah, I've already got Rayman, but it was good enough price. I weren't going to leave it behind. I've actually, in the last sort of 18 months, I've seen more PS1 in charity shops than I ever have before, but the prices are just getting ridiculous on them. I picked up one PlayStation game, I can't remember what it was, but it was marked up like £4 or £5. The case wouldn't even open on it, and it weren't a good game, and the case wouldn't open. I was trying to check the disc and the case was just locked into place. So yeah, I left it behind. I mean, I've seen one charity shop had Crash Team Racing in one of the glass display cabs, and it was marked up at like 35-40 quid. I just thought, nah. Final PS1 game. Now this was a gift from James Flashback TNT, a good mate of mine, and it was Alien Trilogy. It's one that he knows I was after. Now this weren't at Revival. James was one of the lads I met up with at Revival. Now Revival was a bit of a mad one because, do you know what, I'll talk about it in another video. But nonetheless, I actually saw James last year because I was at a wedding in the Lake District, and James is just a bit Carlisle way, aren't you, mate? So you weren't far from where I was, so we spoke. And you said, yeah, I'll pop down and see you for a pint and that, which we did, and that was one of the highlights of last year, getting to meet yourself. And James had this I'd forgotten all about this. Now James also had a box of books for me, which are somewhere. I'll probably show them on another video because they're not gaming related, they're books. I knew he had those for me, but I'd completely forgotten about Alien Trilogy. And like I say, it was one I wanted, so I was buzzing to get that. So Top Man. Board games. I've been buying board games now. Admittedly, mostly stuff like this. Charity shop, you know, a couple of quid, and it's a VHS board game. So I bought one last year, which I put on my 2022 pickups. That was Atmosphere, another VHS game. So I was glad to have that one. You know, whether I play it or not, who knows? But it's the fact that I've now got a VHS player set up in the corner with a CRT. So the ability to, you know, whack on a VHS game sort of appeals to me. Something semi-gaming related that I found in the charity shop last year was this Megatips. Is it Megatips? Power Tips Book 3, which I've never seen this series before. This was a quid, so I grabbed that. There's like writing and that in there, you know. Not too worried about that. Interestingly, is it still in here? I was flicking through it, and yeah, in the back was a sleeve for a GameCube game, True Crime, which I've never played that game. That was just randomly in the back. As you do, I mean, I thought I had a result of finding this, and then you're looking at it, and it's book 3 out of a series of presumably 3. I don't think there was a 4th. So back on eBay, I'm looking for 1 and 2 now. So a bit of a curse as well as a gift. So it wouldn't be a video of mine without sending shit flying, and that's exactly what I've done. If Steve's watching this, Retro Edge Steve, you'll be probably quite pleased to see this. I found this in the charity shop as well, and it was the Only Fools and Horses box set. I think I paid 6 quid for this. The box is immaculate. Now, I never thought I would pick up the DVD set of Only Fools and Horses because I hear that I've never actually sat and watched a DVD, but apparently with political correctness and all that, they've taken a lot of bits and pieces out of them, which is a shame. I've got near enough a full VHS set to cover the series, and you know, sit and watch them on gold or whatever. But nonetheless, to find them in that condition at £6, you know, I couldn't leave that behind. You know, surely right up there, one of the best TV shows of all time. Yeah. I'm going to do a game now. I've got a couple of. Let's just do this one quick. This isn't a new game. I owned this one before, but the inlay's new. So I bought a loose, I think it was box only, of this, just because I wanted the inlay there, because my old one was pretty badly sun faded on the spine, so that was kind of a replacement for that. Right, I've got a couple of what for me are quite big hitters now. In the grand scheme of things, they're probably not big hitters, but with kind of what I want, like, so the 2 Mega Drive games, they're probably, in the grand scheme of things, they're probably mid-range titles, considering the prices that some of them go for. But stuff like, you know, the Punisher, you know, fucking hundreds and hundreds. It's never going to happen. You know, even the Castlevania games, sort of, you know, it's out of my price range now. I'm just not willing to go there for a game. These are about as big in terms of pricing. I didn't get these for a good price. I paid the going rate for these, and this is as steep as I'm willing to go on a single game. Now, which one did I get first? I think it was this one. So grabbed a copy of Shinobi 3. Yeah, big fan of Shinobi series since Shadow Dancer on the Master System. And when I think of the Mega Drive, it is stuff like Shinobi, Golden Axe. So I've got Mega Games 2, I believe it is. Mega Games 2, which has got Revenge of Shinobi. I think I've got all the Shinobis on the Master System now. I've got Shadow Dancer, on the Mega Drive. So yeah, to complete this set, I had to get Shinobi 3, and I really do rate this. I was talking to Big Mike at Revival, and he thinks that Revenge of Shinobi, the second one's the best. I've not really played that one a lot. Out of all the Mega Drive games, my initial impressions are this one's the best. I had played it before I bought it, but a little bit on emulation. So I was really glad to grab this one. It's in really nice nick. Like I say, I paid the right. Sorry lads, video cut out. Let me just try and piece back where I was. So yeah, talking about Shinobi 3. Then what was I on about? Paying the going rate. So yeah, next one, once again, paid the going rate for it. Didn't get like a cheapy deal, just paid the asking price, and it's Golden Axe 3. But once again, talking about Shinobi, talking about series on the Master System that for me like very synonymous with the system, and Golden Axe once again got Mega Games 2, which has got Golden Axe 1, got Golden Axe 2 sat there, so I wanted to get Golden Axe 3 to complete the set. So that is what I've done. Once again, good nick. I think this is the first Japanese game I've ever bought. One of two, because I picked one up at Revival, which I'll cover that in another video. I don't think I've got around to the VHS. There's another game here, the Blockbuster Party game in a VHS style case. Once again, charity shop find, a little cheapie. I am still collecting the VHS, in particular X Rentals. So grabbed one last year, Mad Max. Didn't pay a lot for this; it was under a tenner. Yes, there are more VHS. So got some sell through VHS here. So Pedro, if you're watching, you can switch off, mate. I particularly like this series, the CIC Stripey. I've grabbed 4 of these. The Warriors classic film. They're all classic films. Not seen Grease since I was a little kid, but to be honest with you, buying these films was purely dictated by the spines. I just think the spines are well smart. So yeah, been getting some of these CIC Stripeys. I don't know if I've shown these before. I've got one more actually, one more to show, but that was bought this year. So I will show that in a separate vid. Grease, and yeah, The Warriors, one of my favourite films of all time. That proper cult classic. Showing them. Cartoon. I used to watch them with my cousin. So it's from this Formators series. Now some of these are quite pricey on eBay, and I had to save search for this for about 2 or 3 years. This particular one, Earth's Defence, and yeah, it took about 2 or 3 years till that popped up. So I've grabbed that. Another game, just a cheapie, 50p out of a charity shop. The Great Escape for the Xbox, and I found a sealed copy of SummerSlam '92. Bit of a wrestling kick. Yeah, like I say, this was sealed, this was cheap. You know, they re-released. This is a re-released DVD, I think. It also came out on Blu-ray. Yeah, because it's now distributed by Fremantle rather than who was it before? Silvervision. So yeah, I've grabbed that. I've been buying a lot of. As a kid, I read the Beano and the Dandy. So I've been buying a lot of these. I can't be bothered to show them, to be honest. Dave has gifted me a lot of them as well, but I'll probably just, I don't know, show them on a room tour. So yeah, I've only got a couple of minutes recording here. So yeah, this I think this is the final one. It's gonna have to be a separate vid, that, because I've got a bit to say about it. I was also gifted from my other half's older brother. He's a couple of years older than me. He's got the retro bug, thanks to me. So he's back on not the old systems. I think he kept his old Super Nintendo, all his games, but he got rid of his N64 years ago, and he's been bitten by the retro bug. He's back in it, and he went crazy on eBay over a couple of months, just putting bids and offers in, buy it nows, and he ended up buying a few doubles. So he gifted me the doubles. He didn't want it. I told him, just put them back on eBay, just sell them on. He couldn't be bothered. He said, no, you have them, and I needed them all. So Jet Force Gemini, all loose carts. Had that back in the day. I had all but one of these back in the day. 1080 snowboarding, had that back in the day. This one I never had, never played. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. So that was really kind of him to gift me those three. He's actually gifted me another one as well, but that's just this year, so that's going to go in this year's pickups. So I think apart from the next lot, which is a Top Trumps bundle, I think that is all. That is most of the pickups covered from last year. Pretty sure. If there's anything else, yeah, I'll tack it on in the end. But well, I'm going to stop it here because I've got. It says here I've got 6 minutes of recording time, and I'm on 5 minutes and 50. So I'm going to stop it here. I'll have to free up some room, and I'll be back with another annoying jump cut. I think if I've forgotten anything, I'll add it on to the next one, but the next one's a top. Hi everyone, welcome back. Third part of this very stitched together video. Awful, but I just need to get this stuff. I don't want to start again. I just want to get this stuff shown. Show this on camera and then get it put away. And then perhaps in future I'll do kind of more timely videos when I'm buying stuff, so that it's not, you know, so all over the place. I've actually bought more this year than I did in the entirety of last year. So yeah, at some point I will try and get a video done to cover that. Anyway, so last few bits, and I'll start with a couple of games. Now these were bought from an old face on YouTube, Martin Get to Know. Now I spoke to Martin long before all these like YouTube wars. I've never really spoken to him about stuff that was going on, and loosely been in touch with him since, and it's just not something we've ever talked about. Now I haven't got a dog in that fight, I ain't got a horse in that race. Not really followed it, you know, don't know what's not too clued up what's gone on. It's nothing to do with me. But what I will say is, like I said, we've never spoken about it. Martin's never, we've never had an issue. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm well off out of it. What I will say is he did me a terrific deal on a couple of games. It's for the Saturn. So as I mentioned on the previous segment of this stitched together video, I don't own the system yet, but it's on my list for this year or next. So I've got a couple of power titles off him, and he did me a really good deal. I've not actually taken these out the protectors yet, but Duke Nukem 3D. This was a game I wanted. This was on my list, and it's a game that I played back in the day on the PC. I remember my mate did me a copy of this back in the day, and I remember that, yeah, school days, that would have been like year 10, year 11. Used to love this game, and I've not played it since. I've never gone back to it, but it was just such a classic game to play back in the day. First person shooter, different enough from like Doom and Quake, and one I'm really looking forward to playing again. So that was one of them. And speaking of Quake, the other was the original Quake. Again, another classic PC shooter. I actually completed this recently on the Switch, which is, if you're a purist, it's not really the way to play it, because you can save your game at any point. Don't remember if you could do that or not on the PC. But nonetheless, a couple of PAL Saturn games, and he did me a really good deal on them. It's a fair play to him. So happy to have those. Got another PAL Saturn set up there, and then I've got the Space Harrier to start the Japanese collection for the system as well. Next is a board game that I forgot to show in the last one. It's nothing exciting. It's the edition of Cluedo that I used to play. My cousin had this very edition. Used to play this quite a bit when we were kids. This was a couple of £2 in the charity shop, and it's in really lovely nick, really nice condition. It's the best way to show this. You know, clean and tidy around the edges, all complete. The only issue was, and this is not anything to get too upset about, but the charity shop put a sticker up here, and when I removed it, it's just the wrong type of sticker. When I removed it, it lifted off some of the paint, and that was a pain considering the condition of the game. So I've had like editions of Cluedo since playing it as kids, but it was those modern editions with they're just a bit naff. So happy to have got the original, the one I remember playing back in the day, that edition. Very nostalgic, and it's a game that I actually sit with my family and play oftentimes at Christmas. We'll sit down and bust out a game of Cluedo. Just a bit of a family tradition. Tying up loose ends now. So I mentioned in one of the sections of video that James Flashback TNT gave me the PlayStation game. He also gave me some books. So when I was a kid, in my school library, I used to loan out the Enid Blyton books, like Famous Five, Secret Seven, and there was another like variation on the five. I think it was like the Five Find Outers. And little sod that I was, I never gave them back. So I've still got them sat on my shelf back at my mum's house. And I used to love reading these books. Used to absolutely love reading these books. And I've been noticing that you find a lot of them in the charity shops. And speaking to James about it, he said, I come across them all the time. So he's picked a few up for me, dirt cheap, and he brought them along when he met up with me at the in the Lake District for that wedding. So I told him, fussy little git that I am, I said to him, it's the who's the publisher? Is it Night Books, Black Knight Books? So he's done me a little box with 6 of these. Just showing the spines here. Famous Five on the Black Knight label. I've got more books back at my mum's house than I've got anything else. Games, CDs, Blu-rays, or whatever. Growing up, I used to love being outside, playing football, fires in the woods, pissing about my mates. But equally, I was quite happy indoors. Either sat there playing the Specky or the Master System, or get my head stuck in a book. So even as an adult, I can go back and read these. They've got a certain charm to them. Maybe a bit like some of the old authors from like the 50s and 60s or whatever. Like there's a bit of a witch hunt for some of these authors now. In the modern age of cancel culture, so that's another added layer of enjoyment. But yeah, so that was nice of James to put these aside for me. Maybe I'll do a video. I mean, Dave Tyler has given me a load of Beano books, which I'm also collecting on the side. So who knows? Maybe it'd be nice to do a separate video on like books and that. I mean, not too many people would be interested, but it's probably more for me just to get, I don't know, document it and have it up on film for me to watch back later. Anyway, final thing now. Now this was a charity shop bundle. Now I was pretty thrilled to see these. So they're Top Trumps, and I collect old school Top Trumps, and they were in a glass cabinet in a charity shop local to me. I was like, oh hello, and then looking at, they're all priced at £3 each. Now there's 20 of them here, so I was looking at them going, £3 each, that's fucking 60 quid for a Top Trump bundle in a charity shop. I'm thinking, not too sure about that. Now, so I asked a lady working in the charity shop, will you, I'm after that, I'm interested in those. will you take an offer on them? And she said, yeah, let me just go and speak to the boss or whatever. So she went out the back, and she come back. So bearing in mind, I said to her, so are they all priced up at £3 because they're all stacked on top of each other. And she had a quick look. Yeah, they're all £3. So I said, I'd like to take them all off your hands now, but £60 is a bit steep. So she went, right, I'll just go and ask. So she asked, she came back and she said, we can do them for 50. So I said to her, they're still pretty steep. Like, and I even I even started looking around the charity shop and said, look, I could take home like a fucking dining table and chairs for that price. These are just, this is just little. She was really nice, don't get me wrong, and I weren't giving her any attitude. I was just negotiating with her, really. So I said, it's still a little bit steep, but I'm ready to take them now. So she went back. Now what? Now see, this is the problem with doing a video so long afterwards. So I either said to her, will you do the lot for 40, or she came back and said, how about £40? Now don't get me wrong, I'd love to have picked all these up for £20, but considering I've been looking on eBay at all these, you're paying three or four, £5 for all of these plus postage. So I was getting a good deal at £40. I was getting a very good deal, but I still felt a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe this is a rant for another video, because as usual I'm running out of time and I want to get these showed off. But yeah, ended up paying £40 for this bundle. So I've got 2 minutes of filming, so I'm just going to run through them very quickly. So we've got helicopters, we've got ships, battleships. These are all boxed, mostly in good condition. There's the odd crack here or there. Motor yachts, tanks, locomotives, one double, cars, already got that one. These are the really old school top trumps, these. World record holders, prototypes, got fucking 1 minute, motorcycles, planes, military planes, fighters and bombers. Bloke next to Tootie had a set of top trumps, fabulous buggies. I think there were 2 of them. Military planes. I was half tempted by I think it was Fraser Fraser Crane. It was Fraser, the bloke next to Stu. Sports cars, the bloke selling the hot sauce, supercars. Yeah, I nearly had that little top trump bundle off him, but he wanted like a £5 for them, so I left them. Racing cars. Jesus, got 30 seconds. Fabulous buggies, I think that's the double, and dragsters. So yeah, that is almost in one fell swoop finished the collection, top trumps wise. There's maybe a few select slightly more modern, like the early 90s ones I'm after, but that in one fell swoop has sorted me out. And I've got 7 seconds left, so I better turn it off. Right, cheers, see ya.